Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our review show of India versus South Africa at Eden Gardens. We were all there at the ground to watch what's been a very disappointing match for India and a lot of controversies on a lot of aspects. We're going to discuss that very briefly today with Sudeep, Kunal, and Ayan. Good evening and welcome all. Having great to have Kunal back after a lot of, I think, a long time. Basically, one of the lowest scoring test matches in the history of Eden Gardens after a long time. I think, if I remember, the 96 test against South Africa was a very, very low scoring affair. Of course, Azharuddin scored 100 there. And we had uh, a very controversial team selection, three wicket keepers, four spinners, six left-handing batsmen. We'll be discussing this with Oyon and Sudeep also. To start off with Kunal, your take on the team selection first.
I must say, this is not absolutely a right combination in the home condition. Number one. Number three, you are sending Mr. Washington Sundar. He might be have a lot of potentials, but you understand that he scored a lot of runs down the order, not at the top. So when you have Dhruv Jurel in your lineup, and if you feel that even if you have Rishabh Pant still, you are playing him as a batsman, why don't you send him at number three? So first of all, as you said rightly, three wicket keepers, four spinners, and if I see the team entirely, it's a six bowlers team, and that two six bowlers, two wicket keepers, so three specialist batsmen. You're gone with the test match. It's a bigger risk because it's a longer period of game and it requires a lot of endurance as well as a batting unit. Normally in India, earlier format was that India used to win toss or lose toss and then opposition get bundled out in 150, 160. India used to score 350, 340, 370, 400. Lead is around 250. Then India came and then they can bundle out the second innings, which is wicket was with ease. Opposition could have scored 300, 350. India scored 100 and win the match. There is a formula India followed for the last 10, 12 years. And a very successful model. If you see, this model has faced a very wonderful result under Virat Kohli's captaincy. In these 7 years, he lost one test match in India, one or two, to be very precisely. So it's a very impeccable record as a test captain. But the strategy was fantastic. He used Umesh Jadhav in Umesh condition for his reverse swing capability. So Rahul, you have to understand, and for the team, that you have to understand what is my strength and against whom you are playing. You have a six left-handing batsman and you have an off spinner in place. Two off spinner. Adam Makram is he may not be a regular bowler, but he bowls regularly at the test, and he is known for his quick deliveries, and also he faced a lot of wickets for South Africa in Test cricket. Even in WTC final, I guess he got one or two wickets, very crucial wickets. Similar here also when Washington Sundar was playing well, and there's a partnership building. Then he came and taken Washington Sundar's wicket. So first of all, I do not think the first is team combination was not right. Second, the kind of pitch we have ordering to the Cricket Association to prepare. We are not playing for our strength. We have seen in England we had a good batting track. So India did really well. Even with this, more of a similar conditions, more of a similar combination, I must say. So
Kunal,
pitch
I
is
have
an
a
important
question
factor.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, India losing 0-3 to New Zealand. Mitchell Santner coming out of nowhere to pick seven wickets. Do you think Gautam Gambhir didn't learn his lesson, or what is the issue here, which everyone is saying? What is the issue? Again, a wrong rank
I'll tell
turner.
you. There's a bigger issue is that Rahul, if you remember that during the Sachin and Saurav's era, the Murli Karthik didn't play much. Why? Because both of these batsmen used to play left-hand spinner very well. So they always think the left-hand spinners are no brainer. You can play them, anyone can play them easily because it is a very easy question. Gautam Gambhir, as a batsman, always played the spin pretty well. He's a very good player of spin bowling. So he cannot think of in Indian condition a player who's from the childhood days playing in the slow turner wickets cannot play spin. The coach is not about that playing according to his strength. Coach is about understanding the player strength and playing, choosing the 11 and choosing the pitch. Gautam Gambhir is not learning from his mistakes, which he did in New Zealand. I am very surprised. I have not seen Sarfaraz Khan in the lineup. His last outing with New Zealand, he scored 150 runs. Even in England, when he went to us in A side, he scored 92, brilliant 92. Still, he is not able to making it. Where Dhruv Jural against West Indies making 100 and coming to the forefront, I don't think he is doing a justice to the talent. See, I was listening to some famous journalist one day, that cricket is a great leveler. If you do not respect the game will not leave you. It will give you back. Like we used to say in a childhood days, if you give 10% to the ground will give you 90% back. It doesn't take a long. Similarly, if you cheat or if you do not treat the cricket well and you try to play, different games within the dressing room, outside the field, definitely the impact will come in the team's performance. And eventually, uh, might be you have to lose your job someday because of your stubbornness. That no, what I'm thinking is absolutely right. The rest all the players are old players, ex-players are not speaking right. This can be. When you're producing the result, nobody will ask question. But
Most
when you are
important,
not
Kunal.
producing,
You know that as HRA, the way you end of the day, result has to come.
yeah, if this model would have been worked, Gautam Gambhir would have been the hero.
Hero.
West Indies is not a side. People do not remember who scored 100, who scored 5
Who's got
wickets
500?
in that. Nobody remember. South Africa is the world number one test championship. And for me, it looks like India is the new chokers.
Could be. Good observation.
South Africa has come back for last two tests, World Test Championship. They were down in the first innings. They came out brilliantly, chased that target with the Aiden Macram 100. Brilliant. If India would have been in a similar situation, I doubt that India could have won the match or not. Because frankly speaking, the earlier lot, the Pujara, Kohli's, Sharma, they had got a different mindset. They were a different frame of mind. Their adaptability to the condition and the game and the pattern was very different. That's why they are great. They used to play T20 Test cricket in one day and used to adapt the conditions and adapt the game very quickly. Like Dhruv Jural played the shot, a pull shot, a pitch pull shot for a 6 run or over boundary. In any given situation, Mr. Kohli wouldn't have played it. The difference is there are difference only 2 runs, boundary or a 6. But you lost a wicket at a very crucial juncture. India was.
I understand.
So India was 32 for 36 for 2, then became 38 for 4. So you have been given an opportunity to play at number 4, where Sachin Tendulkar, the players like have played, Virat Kohli, they have played the game. You are not capitalizing it. Having said that, the pitch, the team, 124 is chaseable. Even any given point conditions. You can give me a reference that in Guyana we could not chase 120.
Just about to say 120, Guyana 97.
So that 97, but that did happen 28 years back.
28 years
not today.
Back. Not today.
It's a 28 years back story, not today.
But one thing, Kunal, that pitch was also very nasty pitch. You remember that Ambrose Paul which skittled sort of went just flat. It went 0 degree.
See, their choice was not in your hand that you chose a wicket as you are traveling to overseas. And the bowling attack, the Walls, Ambrose, Marvin Dillon, a different bowling attack than this. A Harmer, a simple, a very decent off spinner. I have not seen a great turn. No Dusra, no Tisra, simple off spin.
First or second match, I think. First or second test, yeah.
And he did brilliantly. Your Washington Sundar, your premier off spinner,
didn't bowl.
Has bowled 1 over in the entire match.
That will happen, Kunal, with 4 spinners. That is my question.
Basically, my question is that, I feel where India lost the match, in the last 3 wickets, when in the 4th innings, South Africa added 60 runs, 93 to 153.
150.
India lost the match by 30 runs. So that is 30 is the difference. So definitely India is going wrong in a team selection. India is trying to confuse the entire system and the players as well. Players are very confused about their role in the team.
We'll come to that. Kunal, thank you so much. We'll just come to it in a few minutes. Oyon, taking a cue from Kunal's last point, do you think Gautam Gambhir's over reliability on all rounders, and we have discussed it a number of times in the Gautam Gambhir show, which Kunal was not there, is his over reliability on all rounders costing India big time in test matches? One. And number two, you saw that interview of Rajdeep with Saurav Ganguly, where Saurav clearly said the state association has nothing to do. It is the prerogative of the coach. The coach says this is the wicket we have given him. If he has lost, his problem. He just took his hands off, and he has very beautifully taken his hands off. One first, do you think this over reliability of half bowling, half seaming, half spinning, half cocks are causing him a real problem, as Kunal said in the selection? And two, do you think the pitch was as bad as India turned it out? Over to you, Kunal.
No, I mean, yeah, you have just asked the question which I was just pondering on as Kunal was speaking. Somehow, India has totally veered from its general, the outlook towards Test match cricket. As Kunal said, the way we used to win in Test matches in India, and that actually started with Azharuddin. That is where it started from, 94. That Gooch series where India, for the first time, won all three test matches. The plan was simple. You have about six specialist batsmen, you have 4 or 5 bowlers maximum, and you have turners. So, six specialist batsmen ensured that you batted once. You batted once, and remember, England lost, except for the Kolkata test, they lost all matches by innings. India just had to bat once, okay? In Calcutta, they batted twice, but that also India were won by a huge margin, right? So that I don't know what has suddenly changed now. That in this kind of a pitch, which is anyway helping you. See, the whole point here, Rahul, was you had a helpful pitch. So why would you take more bowlers? There is absolutely no need to take bowlers on a pitch which is anyway of a lot of help. I mean, if you were sort of getting the ball in the right area as a spinner, the ball would do everything. I mean, in the first innings, it was Bumrah who took wickets, right? So it was actually a pitch that was helping everybody. So what you wanted was 4 to 5 solid batsmen. Of course, one has to realize and one has to give it to, give it to India that Gill's injury was absolutely terrible.
Yeah, that's the wrong
Absolutely
thing.
terrible. It was really, really unfortunate because, I mean, you think if Babuma, is the same, Gill is the captain, if Babuma had been injured, South Africa would have been demolished. So that factor we cannot forget. I mean, the Gills thing had been totally out of plan, but then those kind of accidents might happen. So the problem was because India basically took two specialist batsmen, really two batsmen, three maybe, Jaiswal, Rahul, and Gill. Out
Yeah.
of the three, you lose one, that is like 33% gone. Right, and then you have only all
Correct.
rounders. So why? I
That
mean,
is
and
exactly
see,
my first question.
and
Yeah.
I mean, I have no answer to this. I think this is somehow, this coach has a certain mindset, which in a track which is
No,
anyway
Kunal,
offering.
Kunal pointed out, which I have been saying for so long, and Kunal was not agreeing, that there is some kind of a stubbornness Gambhir has,
Yeah, this
a
one I
fixed
think.
mind.
See, if you lose now, I think it's going to be difficult for India to bounce back into the series because South Africa has had a huge morale boost. India has had a huge shake of confidence. If Gill cannot play the next test, which is
Looks
probably
likely,
very
probably
likely he will not
likely to.
play, and somehow you have to realize that this is not T20. You cannot have bits and pieces cricketers here. Test cricket is the greatest test of a cricketer. It is, I mean, I saw Dhruv Jurel. I mean, there was this ball by Harmer, or I think Maharaj. It was a leg break for him. I mean, the guy was it was a well flighted ball. I mean, he just lunges forward, has no idea of the length, hard hands, and somehow South Africa, of course, were a bit conservative in field placement because they didn't have a big talent to defend. There was no gully. It was a dolly catch to gully, and he played it like a. I mean, it's like he's like playing not even club cricket. I mean, he has no idea how to play spin. I mean, you do not play. You have to see the. You need to play off the back foot also. I mean, you just lunge forward, hard hands, and just that was out. I mean, I was so shocked seeing that. that this team does not deserve to score big. If you're relying on players like Jurel, who maybe and no offense to him, because he just doesn't have the experience. He has never played space like this. Now, see, in T20 and all, anyway, in T20 bowling is sort of, it is secondary, which is why I don't like T20. It's completely a batsman's game. Cricket is anyway a batsman's game. T20 is 90% a batsman's game. Bowlers are there to defend runs. So KP Kevin Peterson has put this beautiful thing on Twitter, which I shared, X. He's just saying that you don't blame the cricketers because they're getting so much of money on T20. So why should
Right.
they improve their technique to spin? But then now you have on almost full Eden Gardens, and you almost disrespect the audience by playing a team that had no business to come on the field. I'm really going to be very scathing here. Because why do you not go for specialists? I don't know what Sarfaraz Khan has done. He is at least, he's shed, I think, 20 kilos, 30 kilos. I don't know if you've seen him. He's become a ghost of what he was. He's working so hard. He has a very solid mentality. He's a stubborn cricketer. I mean, he's good technique. I mean, he's one of those Khadoos players that Bombay typically produces, right?
Which I have
He's
always
dropped.
felt that Gambhir has a problem within himself, some kind of a demon. He doesn't
See,
like a player, he
here,
just shuns him out.
yes. I mean, this team selection was incredibly bad. I mean, of course, they did not expect Gill would be injured. They basically thought that Gill and Rahul are enough. But why why load your team with bowlers when anyway it's a
Bowlers.
helpful wicket? It's a helpful wicket, right? You don't need so many bowlers. Sundar is I say, I've liked Sundar. I've told you many times. I really think he's an extremely, is very feisty cricketer, good technique. He is probably one of the few players in the
I
Indian
think
team.
Oyon, the way he's been projected by Gambhir as replacement of Ashwin, I think he's got miles to go. You have to accept it
No, no,
also.
no, no, no.
He's
But
not
he's a
Ravi Ashwin
batter.
right now.
He's a batter. No, forget it. I don't think he'll even bowl. That's what I was going to say. He got one over in the whole damn
Over. That's
test.
what Kunal said. One
Right,
over.
so he's being groomed as a specialist batsman, and if you look
That's
at
no.
it, he played the maximum number of balls among any batsman in the Indian team,
That's right.
and in both innings he actually got out by very good balls, especially the one that Markram ball, that was a beast of a delivery, fast off break, bounce, was an unplayable ball. The first innings, I think that was a very, very typical, I mean, he probably could have negotiated it better, but I think he really applied himself. Rishabh Pant was a disaster. I mean, that
Rishabh
one
Pant, we
bad
saw,
hook shot,
we watched him very closely in the
exactly,
ground.
right?
He was a
I mean,
disaster. He was a
that
disaster.
was the match gone. Because we
Mm.
lost by 30 runs and there was no need to play that shot. I mean, Pant really needs, psychological, counseling all the
Well,
time.
yeah.
He's extremely talented, but come on, the match is in your pocket if you just need to bat till
Kunal wrote a very
evening.
valid thing in Facebook, which I liked very much, that Pant is a player of great talent, but sometimes you need to be a player of general talent. You have to play
Whatever.
according
I
to
mean, see,
situation. You cannot be always thinking of scoring 100 of 10 balls. You
I
can't
mean,
do that
whatever.
in
I
test.
mean, that is so stupid, right? I mean, somebody needs to counsel, and it's not that he has not done it, right? In Brisbane, he won the match for us. In that Rahane's team, he was handled brilliantly by
I
Rahane.
think that series he played really to the
And
potential of the match.
and I think that was because Rahane has kind of, mentored him,
Influence,
surely.
yes, mentoring and influence,
Surely.
correct.
Surely, because it was a different player that team. He did not play those falling shots. He played stout defense, good, solid cricket. And
I have great
here,
reservation of making him a vice captain anyway. So
yeah,
obviously,
yeah,
when
I
he's a
think I
captain,
think,
standing
and see,
captain, he
also I
doesn't
do
know
not
how to play.
see India makes such terrible calls in this third umpire thing, right? I mean, Rahul is the only guy who understands. I mean, these other
Yeah,
ones are, it's like jocular,
I
right?
think Sudeep. Yeah, I think we lost three DRS. I think Sudeep, right? Three or
Yeah,
four in the total match. Three,
I
three.
mean,
I think
such
we
a,
got three.
and I mean, this was a match where this was something we should have won. I mean, again, we played loosely, allowing the last two wickets of South Africa to add 60 runs. Again, that was the decider. I told you, remember, if India got a lead of, like, where, did not get more than 50 runs, I thought India would lose. But the way South Africa batting had folded down, I thought that there's a chance again at the end of the second day. But then,
Correct.
by when I saw Bavuma, he was batting like a man possessed. I mean, such
And
wonderfully
and
set.
Aaron Bavuma did the same thing with an injured leg in the WTC final. with the injured
I mean,
leg.
this is a class apart. I mean,
Class.
mentally, I think I would say that he's the toughest South African player I've seen. Hansi Kronia was one, but then
Was
of
very
course
tough.
it was very tough. But then he has not been tested in this way. I mean, okay, he didn't play any World Cup. I think with his captaincy, did he play? It was '99. Was he captain?
Yeah,
99
he
World
was.
Cup,
He
he was
was.
captain. But then
Yeah,
that was
he
again a
was.
perfect choking thing, right? It was a
Think
horrible
so. In the
choke.
semi-final. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So there, I think this was a completely. I mean, where do you not play specialists on a pitch that is, giving a lot of help to bowlers? You do not play six bowlers. You play 4.5. That is enough. You bat once. You put up a
I think
total.
no Indian captain, which Kunal rightly pointed out. I think I have seen, we have been watching cricket, me and you and Sudeep, from the time when Gavaskar was captain, then Kapil, then Srikanth Venksatkar, Sachin, Saurav. I've not seen any Indian captain. How bad, as bad as Kapil and as good as Saurav, to have extra one bowler when your pitch is inducive, which you
See,
rightly
see,
said.
when actually when in our childhood in the late 70s 80s, Indian pitches were absolutely docile. Before that, when Wadekar was captain and when the great spinners of India bowled, of course the pitches were pretty. Very, they took spin quite a lot. But again, there India's batting was never that great, so they were always very sort of challenging. I mean, they're not like one-sided matches ever. I mean, our victories against England or West Indies, they were never that one-sided. But and then when Gavaskar came, the thing was we didn't have that good spinners, and Gavaskar's strategy was you don't lose. Whatever it is, you first ensure you do not lose. So we won against Pakistan. That was mostly by Kapil Dev, because Kapil Dev was somebody who exploded into Indian cricket, and we never had a bowler fast bowler close to Kapil Dev ever. So in the 80s, we mostly had draws in India because the pitches were docile. We didn't have spinners that way. Azharuddin changed the thing. We had Kumble, Chauhan, Raju in that thing in the 94 series, all rank turners, but very solid batting. You batted once, won the match, and that continued forever after that. Saurav also was similar to that. Kohli perfected that. Now, suddenly, I don't know what is the reason for this experimentation, right? Because you don't you I mean you anyway, your batsmen are not great players of spin. They are even worse players of spin now. So but then of course I must say that this Harmer actually I liked quite a lot, because the way, especially the way he got Pant in the second innings, I really liked. I mean, he kept pushing Pant back with these fast off breaks. Then suddenly he
Yes,
looped one and straight caught on bolt straight. I mean, Pant was absolutely outclassed, because Harmer, I saw, he really flights the ball well.
I think a lot
That
of logic in that. What do you say?
very
Correct.
lot of variation. He can bowl those slow tossed up balls, which I've rarely seen. Swan used to do it a bit, but the Lion doesn't really do that. He's mostly much more flatter, I guess. Sucklen was a genius in this, and yeah. So Pakistan has had great off spinners, but in South African spinner at that, South Africa has never had great spinners. But
Right.
Harmer, I think,
We'll
is
come back to you.
class.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. Sudeep, my question to you is now, do you think, which I was asking on the pitch was bad, number one? And number two is the four spinners. What was your take? Because till morning we were having discussion that there could be either Akshar or Kuldeep. I mean, Kuldeep was dropped. Even ESPN Cricket Info reported that Kuldeep was not playing. And suddenly it was Kuldeep, Akshar, Jadeja and Sundar. So, I mean, what happened in the pitch that forced Gambhir to take four spinners? And firstly, as Saurav said, the pitch was decisively Gambhir's call not to water it for 4 days. And what we saw was obviously ICC could not intervene in this, because ICC could not give demerit points to CAB also, because it was a call from the coach and the coach had to take the blame. So my first question to you is, do you think Gambhir, if you were to put your shoes in Gautam Gambhir's hat, why do you think Gautam Gambhir wanted such a deadly, underprepared pitch when you know that you had a New Zealand 0-3?
Well, I think first of all, just I would like to share a small information. Just now, the news has come. The Gill is officially, out of the second test. No, just that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So which means
So
it's Sai Sudarshan or
now
Nitish
we
Reddy?
have Sai Sudarshan, another left-hander, and the
So
way
it's
Harmer
seven
does,
left-handers basically.
the
No,
way
seven
Harmer is
left-handers.
Harmer is bowling, and so
Hmm.
again, lot of headaches, for the going into the
Yeah,
second
we'll
test.
come on to the Guwahati match a bit in a very quick time to Ayan and Kunal.
So
So, what is your take on the pitch? Why did Gambhir want this pitch? I mean, if you have to put
see,
your shoes.
I don't think he has learned, from the New Zealand thing, he hasn't learned his lessons. That's quite clear. He just wanted, that he underestimated the South African bowling attack, especially the spinners, because as Oyon said, that South Africa didn't have many, great spinners in the past, and that must have played on his mind, but this kind of pitch, it creates a very bad advertisement for Test cricket, and and Eden Gardens, where a Test match is being held after 6 years, and this kind of pitch, I mean, this very difficult to justify this kind of pitch,
So, I mean, Sudeep, I mean, we are watching cricket for almost 40 years now, all three of us, me, Kunal, and you. I mean, me, Sudeep, you, and Ayan. Do you think, I mean, I cannot recall an instance where a coach has not allowed watering for 4 days.
No,
I mean,
this
this
is something,
means that the pitch breaks and you have a 90 degree. Basically, the ball turns 90 degrees. If you do not water the ball. So it is basically a deadly pitch where the ball entirely goes 90 degree. Or if it's an off break from the right hander. So I mean, even if you underestimate the opposition team, I mean, only a mad coach will do that because, I mean, South Africa, end of the day, is a WTC champion.
Yeah.
And what is your take on Akshar Patel? I mean, why did he ultimately play?
Akshar Patel actually,
Because he's a batting all-rounder, or Kuldeep? I mean, Kuldeep had to play. I don't know why the discussion was that Kuldeep would be
this
dropped.
was,
So
this
your
was a
take on
bit
four
surprising,
spinners?
Washington Sundar and Akshar Patel, both of them playing is something is very surprising, and it's shocking also because this kind of team selection, it defies any logic. And I mean, one thing I would like to point about the Sundar thing, they no doubt now they are pushing him to bat at number 3, but they
Number
are
three,
doing
yeah.
more harm to him than any good, because the moment you are pushing
You
up
pointed
somebody,
out that in the ground itself, the moment he came to
the
bat.
moment you are pushing somebody up in the top slot, number 3, so his bowling is going to suffer. Whatever little
Obviously.
he bowls, that is
At
going
number
to
3,
go
it will be difficult.
from
Unless you
bad
are a
to
Gary Sobers.
that is
Unless
going
he's
to
a
suffer
Gary
a lot.
Sobers, which is not.
If you remember during Greg Chappell's time, he used to promote Irfan Khan at number
Correct.
3 to come bat at number 3 in the one ODIs. What happened? We all know that he couldn't bat also properly, and his bowling suffered. Ultimately, his career ended. The same thing. Because what Ravi Shastri just said, a very valid point made by Ravi Shastri. The moment you are making him bat at number 3, he's going to spend more time in the nets batting rather than bowling. So his bowling is going to, he's not going to get the rhythm. He's going to lose his rhythm. So in that way, we are losing because Washington Sundar, even if you play him, you should play him at number 4, number 5, number 6. That is the right place for him, not number 3.
I mean, Washington Sundar cannot be a top order player. I mean, that is what my take is. Always
If
scored
you play
100.
him as an all-rounder, he just bowls 1 over in the entire Test match.
I mean, with 4 spinners, that was bound to happen. Even Bumrah, I mean, Bumrah got 5 wickets, but then Bumrah bowled hardly anything in the second spell.
And there
innings
is no proper backup, batsman now in the squad. The way, because they don't
which
have.
Owen rightly said. In a pitch which is such a bad and poor pitch, which is supporting bowlers. I mean, I don't know why you have 4 spinners and 2 pacers. I mean, it defies my logic also. I mean, I just could not get the team selection. In Australia also, in England also, I didn't understand the team selection with Anshul Kamboj coming in and we had a heated debate, me, Kunal and you, why Anshul Kamboj was in the side. He went off immediately after coming. I mean, Gambhir selections, I mean, are very, very surprising. We have to say this. I mean, no one
however bad
understands.
the pitch may be, you cannot justify this kind of batting performance, this kind of pathetic batting performance. You see the kind of dismissals in the second innings. Yashasvi Jaiswal, KL Rahul, Dhruv Jurel. Do you think they got out to atrocious shots? Even Rishabh Pant. You cannot justify, you cannot expect this kind of shots from a Test cricketer.
Correct. Agreed, Sudeep. Thank you so much. Yeah, I understood your point, and I think it's true that although he is, solely to be blamed for the pitch, it is very important to understand that So ultimately, what I feel is that the Indian batsmen are not good enough to play in, such deadly turners. Which again points out to the fact that, we are not as prepared as the foreign players are as far as spin is concerned, which is our back
now
strength.
the team is flooded with left-handers. I think 6 to 7 left-handers, and if the Harmer again, if the Guwahati pitch provides some kind of spin, I don't know what is going to happen.
With 7 left-handers, yeah. Thanks, Sudeep. Good input, Kunal. Sai Sudarshan coming in probably in place of Subman Gill. 7 left-handers. What is your take?
First of all, Sai Sudarshan scored 87 in his last outing. He get dropped without any justification. So he's a natural replacement. He is coming in. India do not have the option to go for full-time batters. You have one Nitish Reddy in the bench.
You have Devdutt Padikkal. You have Padikkal.
So Devdutt Padikkal, you have got Sai Sudarshan and Devdutt Padikkal in bench. So the problem is that Devdutt Padikkal again is a left-hander. I do not know what combination team has chosen. No right-hander has been chosen because coach is left-hander, so everybody has to be left-hander. That I fail to understand. I always thought the Akshar Patel is the next backup for Ravindra Jadeja. Both are very similar player. Both are very similar kind of player. You do not add such players into your list because that doesn't add any variety. So Ravindra Jadeja and between Akshar Patel, one should play. And India, if you need a batter who can bowl, you need Nitish Reddy in the team as a batsman. If you can play
as a batsman, okay.
You have to remove Akshar Patel. There is Jadeja, Washington Sundar, and Kuldeep Yadav. Kuldeep, you cannot drop. He's your X factor. How can you drop an X factor? So Kuldeep, Jadeja, Washington Sundar. If you play Nitish Reddy, don't play Siraj. Because then you have got a 5-bowler combination.
No, the problem is Gautam Gambhir doesn't bowl Nitish Reddy for more than 2 overs. That is another problem.
That's the problem. See, if you have to build a team, you have to give Hardik Pandya bowls 10 overs in a test cricket. You want to have a similar backup. So Nitish Reddy has given a look at that. He always bowled 10, 15 overs in the domestic cricket. Until how he will groom as a test cricketer. If you want to put him in the scheme of things for the overseas condition, so he has to bowl. Otherwise, your team will be losing its own balance. Because in home condition, you have the advantage of playing Washington Sundar, Ravindra Jadeja, and Kuldeep Yadav. In overseas condition, if you want to play Washington Sundar, you are one batter short.
Exactly what happened in England. Absolutely.
Yes. Even if I said this, Washington Sundar is a very good batsman, no doubt about that. And he has got the quality of become a good test player. He will evolve as a very good test player.
He will, but at number 6, not at 3.
Of course, not at 3. Number 6. Even Jack Callis takes some time to become best of the all-rounder. If you think Nitish Reddy has got the potential, give him the exposure. But unfortunately, Nitish Reddy doesn't have that composure. Jack Callis was more than a batsman and then a bowl, and then he created a balance.
Correct.
Even Ian Botham, Kapil Dev all batted at number 6, not at number 3.
7.
They are great all-rounders.
Correct.
Even Ravindra Jadeja scored maximum number of runs for India in England. He never batted at number 3. He always batted at down the order because that's his place. So India, the Gautam Gambhir need to understand who bats well. Definitely, he's a very wise man, very capable man than more than we are sitting here and discussing about it. But for the national interest, we are seeing from a very layman angle. I'm sure the experts are also seeing the team is confused. Again, I'm using this word, confused. A guy scored 87 in the last test, get dropped here. Why?
What will you do to your confidence, Kunal? You tell me. What is the confidence level that you give?
That will definitely put me under a lot of thought process.
Yes.
I will not. I'm not saying I have to go back to the old people. Karun Nair scored all his runs in the domestic cricket in Indian pitches. You give him an opportunity to play in England. Everybody fails. He also failed. Number 3, he scored decent 51 half century.
57. Yeah, on a tough wicket.
He almost scored 200 runs in the series, and then you're dropping him against West Indies. You do not want to give any opportunity to score.
And the weaker opponent, very true.
And
very
secondly,
true.
He could have been given 2 more series. One against West Indies, one against South Africa. Because he scored all the hard runs in Ranji Trophy. He scored long triple centuries in this wicket. He's a good player of spin bowling. He had got a 300 against England in the domestic condition and pitches like in Chennai.
Very true.
So as I'm saying, that we are not giving a right message to the young cricketers or the people who are performing and scoring runs or taking wickets. We are giving a very different message. I am not sure where we are heading towards. Because a guy who scores runs in putting a lot of soil, a lot of sweat under the sun and doesn't get picked up. Mohammad Shami bowling his best spell out for Bengal in
Exactly. 7 wickets
matches.
again, 7 wickets, 22, 23 wickets, 4 matches.
23. So here so now he's fit to bowl. If he bowls Ranji Trophy for 4 days, he can bowl in test matches too.
Absolute.
See, any day he walks into the team in place of Siraj.
Any day, obviously.
So, but somehow he's not playing. For God reason, God knows what reason. Is that a mandate? I'm giving a bold statement. Is it a mandate that if I open my mouth somewhere, my door has been shut for the team? We are seeing a trend. But trust me, I take this point and I'm putting it very boldly. If you play the dirty game, you have to pay the price.
Correct. It's hurting Indian cricket now.
It will be hurting Indian cricket, and trust me, how much powerful you are, how much backup you have. There's a public sentiment, there are people sentiment, they are cricketing fraternity. They will not let you lose or cut you lose. They
Performance,
will
Kunal, as a nature
definitely
head,
talk
you know.
about it. And
Performance
they
not
will
there.
talk
How
about
long
it,
will
and
people talk?
they'll push it to the corner that end of the day BCCI will have to take a call on this. Non-performance under any circumstances cannot be tolerated.
For a long period of time.
And
Very
cricket
true.
in India, every spectator audience have very short memory. Very short memory.
Very true. Very true.
So that's
Very
what my
true.
take. I feel as much as long Gambhir has to redefine his thought process once again. Guwahati, I'm not sure what is the wicket is. Barsha Para is a new stadium. We have not seen any test match happening. So the new
Correct.
wicket.
Very true. So I don't know also
So
what stadium is like.
maybe northeast there's a lot of swing
Dew.
available, a lot of seam available,
Yes.
lot of
Sim
dew,
available.
lot
In the
of heavy
morning.
weather.
Heavy weather.
You might see Rabada is playing and runs through your top
Oh,
order.
they have added Ngidi. They have brought in Ngidi from South Africa. They've
So
flown in
they
Ngidi.
they sneak in something that's been Rabada will not play because if Ngidi
Right.
has been brought in from here, so Rabada is out of the context.
I think
So,
so.
but
Yeah.
Ngidi is good enough to run through your top orders because your top order is not top order. His top order is actually a slightly top middle order. I must say
Top
it's not
middle
top
order.
order.
Correct. Top order.
KL
Then
Rahul is not a regular. See, KL Rahul is not a regular opener. Only Jaiswal is a genuine opener you have. Apart from Jaiswal, KL Rahul is a middle order batsman promoted to opener. Number Sai Sudarshan also middle order batsman now batting at number 3. So everybody is not comfortable in his own position that they have never
which
batted in their
Sudeep
life.
said. Which Sudeep said. Everyone is makeshift. Everyone is makeshift in the team.
So in a test match, in a longer format, where you need characters, you need technique, you need temperament to survive. Here, makeshift things will not happen. You have a specialist batsman and specialist bowler in the test format. Then for balancing, you might have 2 good all-rounders, which balance the entire team, but not 4 all-rounders who balance the team. It doesn't add any value. So I'm very afraid to see India will lose few more test matches in the home. We cannot say this is a transition team. Gautam Gambhir post England series has given a statement. Then dressing room we talked about it. What is transition? There's no transition. We are here to play cricket.
Pujara said the same thing yesterday. Like, I cannot accept transition at home.
And this player has played in this condition. This player has brought up in this condition. And you're talking about the transition in this condition. They played the domestic cricket. They know the pitches pretty well. They have been roaming around in these pitches and scored runs. That's why they went to the Indian team. How they qualified? They played in these pitches and qualified for the bigger league. Now you're saying they're trained through the transition. I do not think is the right coinage to be given. I'm sure Gautam Gambhir is feeling the heat somewhere. He's understanding his formula is not working properly.
I think it is very rightly, as the last statement, he's feeling that it's somewhere. Over to you, on a closure statement. I just heard from some of my friends in the media in the afternoon that VVS Lakshman is being sounded up for the red ball if Gambhir slips at Guwahati. What do you think? I think Gambhir's time is running out.
I pretty surely. I personally would think that Anil Kumble would be a better choice because I think in terms of cricketing judgment, etc., Kumble has been very astute. I mean, he had a very brief spell as the captain. I think he handled the team very well. Very brief spell, but he handled, that's famous I guess the Monkey Gate time and all, he was there. So I think he
No,
managed
Lakshman had
the,
said no primarily because his two sons are growing up at 18 and
yeah,
19.
yeah.
So he
Whatever.
didn't
See, I
want
mean, I
time from his home.
certainly he, Lakshman is a classical test player. So he will not take such outrageous decisions that because what Gambhir is doing is, it is
I think
basically.
destroying, as rightly Kunal said, he's destroying the team basically. I mean, this is
Yeah,
weird
so
team selection.
basically, no, but see, what he's doing is getting the annals of T20 cricket into Test cricket.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
one
We're
thing
seeing
in
that from England side.
T20,
England team.
yeah, so in T20, you typically do not, keep a very fixed team because it's a very short format, and you need to be creative and all the time. Then, because the match situations change very quickly, you basically just have to be innovative and all that. But Test cricket is not like that. Test cricket, if you do not have a settled team, then it will just be haunt you, and that is exactly what is happening because because see, it is like, see, if like what we do, like in physics and all, we say there is fluctuations and there is signal. So like Test cricket, I mean, one T20 is like fluctuations, and fluctuations are important, but Test cricket is like a long-term signal where all the fluctuations are averaged. Okay, so you need to have a solid, well understood course of your in your journey, which every player understands. I mean, you cannot, and Test cricket is also a game for specialists. India at one point of time had even specialist fielders. Where even in Dravid's, in Ganguly's time, Saurav's time, they were very specialist fielders. You had Akash Chopra at forward short leg. You had, in the brief time that he has played, Rahul Dravid would be in slip. These were some things, and India's close-in catching was very good then. Now, of course, we saw review. I'm sure you remember, Rahul. We saw that our close-in fielders do not know the basic tenets. I mean, they are standing up before the ball batsman is playing his shot. I mean, that is the worst thing. You have to keep low. And there was one instance, at least, when the guy stood up and the ball just hit his leg or something and went off. He didn't crouch. If he had crouched, then the ball could have stuck. So there are basics which they are not, because again, this is the day of T20. Too much of money is there. So and on top of it, if you keep on playing Test cricket like you would do T20, then it would be even worse. So you are creating this kind of uncertainty in the team, very clearly, as Kunal said, and you are not somehow believing in specialists. You are I mean, bizarre decisions you are taking. I mean, that Anshul Kamboj, I mean, what the hell he was doing in England, I have no idea.
I'm surprised
Here,
with that decision.
extremely surprising, right? Now you have, I mean, see, Washington Sundar is very clear that he's being played as a batsman. I don't think Gambhir is
Batsman, yeah.
looking at it. But again, I am also perplexed ki why Jadeja and Akshar, who are like mirror images
Both
of
are
each
playing.
other, why
Yeah.
should both play? So, just like Azhar had Raju, Chauhan, and Kumble, three
Then
different
Chauhan.
types of bowlers, here also you have, right? Here you have Kuldeep, Jadeja, and Sundar. I mean, Sundar is not too bad an off spinner, and in this kind of a track, I think he would have been very effective, right? So then you don't choose any batsman, and again we
So,
have the.
Ayan, my parting question to you is Gambhir feeling the heat very badly now?
I don't know. I mean, I hope he is, but I'm sure that if he loses the Guwahati test, there was going to be serious pressure. If he loses the Guwahati test, if you get swamped again, then in the last two series we have played in our own country against quality opposition, we would have lost 5 out of 5. That is a terrible record, and
Yeah, because
heads.
what Kunal rightly said from a HR point of view, I mean, you can back someone powerfully, but at the end of the day, you are justified. I mean, you
As I
have to
am
give
saying,
justification for having non-performer. You have to,
as
I
I
mean, give it justification.
I will just make. I mean, I will keep this on record. If you lose 5 out of 5 in India, heads should
Right.
roll.
India
Heads should roll. As easy as
should
that.
roll. Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Sudeep, final take. What's going to happen in Guwahati? NGD coming, Rabada, as Kunal said rightly, Rabada might miss out again. Sai Sudarshan in place of Gill, 7 left-handers. What's your take? I mean, if Gambhir's dependency on 4 all-rounders keep continuing with 7 left-handers, I mean, my personal take
Yeah,
it is going to be a very
yeah,
difficult
it will
test
be in
match.
fact 7 left-handed. You don't have much of a backup now in the team.
Exactly. You don't have
There's
Patikal is
hardly
also
any backup.
left-hander, so you have that anyway.
Either you play Nitish Reddy, You can draft both
Uh,
Nitish Reddy and Sai Sudarshan into the team. Now, everything will
right.
depend on the kind of pitch, It's still early to say what exactly will be the 11, but it will
Exactly. It's a
depend
new
on the pitch.
stadium.
But
We
I'm
have no
telling you,
clue on the
the
pitch.
morale-wise, South Africa is on top at the moment, and India is in a totally demoralized unit. It's looking like a very demoralized unit.
I mean, Eden Gardens, I was hearing Ravi Ashwin yesterday, and
Uh,
he was so surprised that you can make a pitch controversy at a ground like Eden,
and
in a ground which is
Indians
one
have
of India's
taken
most
over
steady
as
ground.
chokers, from South Africa now.
Yeah, true, very true,
Yeah.
very true. And,
So
and I was really surprised at the Eden pitch fiasco because Eden Gardens has never had a pitch like this ever. To make a pitch look like that, Turner, it takes a lot of caliber as a coach. Not to water it for 4 days. And I have watched about 20 test matches at Eden. I've never seen such rank turning at Eden Gardens for a very, very, very long time. The 96 pitch
with
in which Lance Cruiser
the kind of
was also a tough
madness
pitch.
going around, we can only hope for the best. Let's keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah. So I think the discussion point mainly we all of us understand that if the team selection is not right, and South Africa being on the top of the table with a lot of, positive vibes, it is going to be very difficult for India to, draw. If India draws even, then they are at number 3. If India loses, I think they are going to go beyond Sri Lanka. They're going to go 4 if they lose 0-2, and South Africa will go up the ladder. So a lot at stakes for India. And I think all of us understand that it is going to be very difficult for Gautam Gambhir to remain a red ball coach if he loses Guwahati, because
I
5
have
out
a
of 5 is
feeling, if the pitch offers, some kind of pace, for assistance to the pace. I mean, Nitish Reddy might be drafted in place of Aksar Patel. They might go in for this kind of change in the second test.
But Akshay scored some runs in the second innings. I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
We have no
Yeah.
idea of how and
But
what
it
will
all
happen in
depends on the
Gautam Gambhir's
kind of
mind.
pitch, It all depends on the pitch,
And to be very fair, Gautam Gambhir doesn't wait for the pitch also. He will play his mindset, as we all know.
Yeah.
If he plays 6 bowlers again, he plays 4 spinners. I think now he will not play 4 spinners. He's forced now. There's so much of pressure on him. But I have still doubts at what the team. And now the team combination becomes a talk of the point, which is very sad for Indian cricket. So on that note, we will draw curtains on today's discussion. It was a very, very disappointing match at Eden Gardens. And we will look forward to see what happens in Guwahati. We'll now close this discussion, and thanks all, Sudeep, Ayan, and Kunal.
Thank you so
Good
much.
night and take care.